Today, we're going to introduce something a little different than anything we've done before. As Aputure lights have continuously grown and improved thanks to the feedback from our users, Amaran has filled in with a now full library of lights for content creators and indie filmmakers. And today is for the content creators. For over 7 years, Aputure and Amaran have been the staple key lights for content creators of all levels, and lights like the MC and B7C, just to name a couple, have hidden away as the main accent lights for an entire generation of creators and enthusiasts. Now, Amaran wants to take accent lighting to another level and cover your entire room or studio. So let's get to it. Hey Google, turn on my lights. That's right, today we're introducing the SM5c, the first smart strip light from Amaran. And to show off what it can do, let's see some of our creator friends put it in action. As you can see, the SM5c is packed with a world full of expansive possibilities, and when we were conceptualizing the light, we took an entirely different approach. Rather than designing for sound stages, harsh climates, and the rigors of on-set filmmaking, we designed this for the bedroom, the living room, and the home studio. The SM5c is an RGB pixel LED strip that's meant to carry you through your daily life and create a colorful environment that inspires creativity, whether you want to liven up your space with ambient lighting or create a specific mood with fun effects. Whether you're into esports or live streaming or just want to spice up your content creation, the SM5c's intelligent design has a place in your setup. That's because on top of the Sidus Link app control that unlocks the full feature set of any Amaran light, the SM5c can sync up with the most popular smart speakers and assistants, with both Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant compatibility. So you can turn your lights on and off, or change the color just with your voice. In fact, the SM refers to the strip light's smart capabilities. The 5 matches its 5-meter length that can spread across an entire room, and the C, of course, stands for color. And that's not all. With the SM5c's built-in microphone, you can turn the SM5c's 100 lighting zones, that's right, 100 individual pixels, into a real-time music visualizer. And that's just one of the 21 pixel effects that we packed into the SM5c. Now, for a light like this, it's less important that you know what the specs are, but instead what creative applications it has. We designed the Amaran SM5c for everyone from content creators to your everyday lighting enthusiast in order to help you personalize your space and bring it to the next level by adding a pop of color, playing with fun lighting effects, or even just creating some background separation. For tech and lifestyle creators or beauty gurus creating catchy short-form content on TikTok or YouTube, a pop of color with the SM5c will instantly elevate your setup and help you capture your audience's attention quickly. The SM5c also helps streamers and esports players to create a more immersive gaming experience, especially when streaming on Twitch. Use it as a bias light or spice up your background without having to take your hand off the keyboard. Alexa, turn my lights deep purple. And with the music sync functionality, musicians and DJs can interact with their lights on a whole other level. The SM5c can enhance your ambience and bring your music to life with different colors and effects, creating an audiovisual spectacle. And if you're into fashion, cosplaying, or anything DIY, you can customize the color of your lighting to match your creations. Since the SM5c is 5 meters or about 16 feet long, it really can light up large spaces. And if you need to cover even more ground, we also have an SM5c extension which doubles its length and takes your RGB strip light from 5 meters to a whopping 10 meters or 33 feet. Show it off proudly and take advantage of its length by mounting the strip along larger surfaces like ceilings and walls, or go for a more discreet and clean look by tucking the SM5c away behind furniture, large cabinets, and shelves for a more subtle accent light. Whatever your goal, whether you're a creator or just want to be the life of the party, the SM5c will help you stand out. As its name suggests, the SM5c is an intelligent light fixture featuring Wi-Fi connectivity, a first for Amaran. As a premier Wi-Fi enabled light, it can easily be controlled with smart speakers like an Amazon Echo or Google Nest. When we decided to design a light that would live at home more often than not, we wanted to integrate the SM5c into your existing routines and workflow. So we took steps to create a light that could seamlessly be connected to your IoT network and controlled with your voice like all the other smart lights you already have at home. By downloading the Aputure Smart app, you can link your Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, and by simply using voice commands, you can customize your light with different colors to fit your environment without having to touch the controller or open the Sidus Link app. To create a warmer atmosphere, you can tell Alexa to change your color temperature. Alexa, turn my light to 3200 Kelvin. Or if you want a cooler effect, hey Google, turn my light to 6500 Kelvin. And if you want more saturated colors to set the mood, you can change the light to any color of the rainbow. Hey Google, turn my light bright red. Going beyond voice control and smart speakers, one of the most distinctive features of the Amaran SM5c is its 100 pixels that can instantly light up a space with saturated colors and effects. Only a limited selection of higher-end LED strips have the ability to control multiple lighting zones, which we knew we had to bring to the table in order to unlock the creative potential of these strip lights. And no other strip light on the market is compatible with Sidus Link. That's why the SM5c is the first Amaran fixture to feature multiple pixels and the first Sidus mesh-enabled light with access to the pixel control functionality. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit more about its built-in effects. Using its advanced circuitry, the Amaran SM5c can smoothly transition between 100 pixels to create a wide variety of pixel effects, 21 to be exact. In addition to its unique pixel effects, like other Sidus-enabled full-color lights such as the MC or B7C, the SM5c is also programmed with 9 built-in system effects including fireworks, fire, TV, and party lights, just to name a few. In part because it has the most available pixels of any of our fixtures to date, it also features the most built-in pixel effects including new additions like Festival, Marquee, Star, Aurora, and Stream. These pre-built effects and presets are where the SM5c truly shines and allow you to easily transform your room without manual controls. Speaking of more manual controls, that's where Sidus Link pixel control functionality comes in. With pixel control, you can manipulate the SM5c's 100 pixels via 5 or 25 independent groups and adjust the color temperature, color, or even add customizable effects to your liking, whether that's controlling one group at a time or even all 25 groups at once. The Sidus Link app is what makes all of this possible, and as the only Sidus-enabled LED strip light, the SM5c is uniquely able to integrate into the rest of your Sidus Link workflow. So you can adjust it in the same scene as your key light, whether that's a 100D and a Light Dome SE, or an Amaran P60X. We won't go into all the details here, but in addition to system effects, pixel effects, and pixel control, Sidus Pro Effects unlocks nearly unlimited lighting potential. This includes capturing real-world lighting patterns with picker effects, creating effect sequences with other lighting fixtures using Magic Program, programming unique lighting effects via manual effects, or creating music effects by uploading audio clips. And as a creative, we know that the aesthetic design of the light is just as important as the lighting design you create, which is why we made the SM5c with an all-white design. This includes everything from the LED strip, control box, power supplies, even the packaging. We wanted the SM5c to seamlessly blend into your home and even match your white walls and minimalist aesthetic with a discreet design that can be hidden in plain sight. To enhance that blending factor, the SM5c's 300 RGB LEDs are covered by a layer of diffusion spanning the entire 5-meter strip. So whether you're looking at the strip light directly on the walls of your bedroom or having them light up your background, the SM5c produces a softer and more pleasant glow over your entire space. The SM5c's external controller was also designed to be as simple and intuitive as possible, so you can focus more of your time using voice control for simple tasks and Sidus Link for advanced functions. This small remote features only 3 buttons and a single control knob that allows you to easily change the appearance of your light. With the press of a button, you can connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, or simply toggle between CCT, HSI, and FX. From there, the control knob can select a color temperature from cool to warm, adjust the intensity of the light, tweak your color, or switch between built-in lighting effects to match your desired look. And finally, the most unique aspect of this controller is the internal microphone that can natively activate Music Sync. With Music Sync, the SM5c takes your music to the next level by acting as a real-time audio visualizer with pixelated lighting effects straight from the controller. By simply playing any audio track or singing into the mic, the SM5c's 100 pixels will react to the audio frequency so you can watch your music come to life without any additional programming. In fact, I'm going to play some music to try it out. Turn on music effects real quick. From pixel controls to music sync, the SM5c can bring so much more to your creative environment. And now for the final question, when can you buy the next addition to your lighting setup and how much will it cost? The Amaran SM5c, our first RGB pixel light, is available starting today for only $89. With all the features packed into this smart light, it's a fantastic value compared to the other high-end LED strips in its class. We're excited to finally bring something like this to market, and I hope it opens up new worlds for all types of users. Now let's see if we can answer some user questions and clarify any lingering details about the SM5c. For the best effects, your audio source, whether it's a speaker or your voice, should ideally be about 30 centimeters or about a foot away from your controller. That's where the mic is. Any further than that, and the mic will have a harder time picking up as much variability in the audio frequencies from your audio track, whether that is your phone or your voice. Now, for the second part of the question, the SM5c has two methods of being integrated with music or any audio track. Music Effects, which is the first one, is a native Sidus Pro effects function and behaves the same across all compatible Aputure and Amaran lights. This function allows you to upload a music file or use the microphone in your smartphone to send lighting controls to the entire SM5c. So in this mode, Music Effects and Sidus Link are not compatible with multiple lighting zones on the SM5c, and the fixture will just change in one solid color. The integrated music sync function uses the built-in microphone in the SM5c and can be triggered through either the Sidus Link pixel effects or manually on the controller. In either case, only the SM5c's built-in microphone can access multiple lighting zones and turn the 100 pixels in the SM5c into a real-time audio visualizer. The SM5c is not meant to be cut, and we absolutely do not recommend it. If the SM5c gets damaged or trimmed, the circuit will not know what happened and how to remap the available number of lighting zones. That means effects like snake, timing, pinball, clock, and fuse won't be complete as they're based on the full utilization of all the lighting zones. So it'll also cause the boot up process to be delayed. So that's why we don't recommend cutting them. And not being able to cut LED strips with multiple lighting zones or independent circuits is pretty common, whether they come from us or any other manufacturer, just because of these issues related to mapping where all the pixels are. Since the Amaran SM5c is about 5 meters long, we recommend mounting it on larger and longer surfaces like ceilings and walls rather than around something smaller like a single desk. The adhesive on the back of the SM5c works best on smooth and dry surfaces, so stay away from fabric, non-glossy textured walls, rough plastic, and frosted glass. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or hit us up in the Aputure user group on Facebook, or even check out the support tab on the SM5c webpage. Thanks for joining us for the launch of the Amaran SM5c. We can't wait to see how you personalize your own space. See you next time.
Hey, it's Max with Amaran. We're going to talk a little bit more about the SM5c with my friend Andres Vidoza. He's a tech YouTuber that everyone should know about. He has over 200,000 subscribers and has gotten millions of views. He had humble beginnings though. Just 2 years ago, he was a student and a part-time YouTuber celebrating 4,000 subscribers. Nowadays, he's a full-time content creator. We're going to talk a bit about his backstory, his creative process, and the gear he works with. Let's get into it. Andres, I'm excited to talk a bit about your backstory and your creative process, but before we do, I gotta say, we're giving away 2 of these new SM5c strip lights during this interview, somewhere in the middle, so if you're watching right now, stay tuned. But Andres, I look at you as an authority when it comes to tech and gear, and I've been watching your YouTube channel, and you've had some crazy growth over the last year, so I kind of wanted to ask, where did you get started on this creative journey of yours?
Honestly, it was a bit of an accident on my part. Everything started with me trying to showcase my journey as I started coding. So, it's 2 different fields. I just want to show people how I was learning how to code, websites and whatnot. And then I started liking creating content for that type of work. And I eventually just started diving into it. Like, I like the pictures, and then I wanted to learn how to edit them, and then I wanted a better camera, and it started evolving until we grew a pretty decently sized Instagram page, to the point that I think our first sponsor was with Logitech on Instagram. And that's where I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do something with this, because it's pretty fun. So that's where it started for me. Yeah,
that's funny. I was looking back at your old videos, and I saw, you were talking about you started off with like your coding background, and you went to school for coding originally, right? And you were just documenting the process?
Basically, that was basically it.
That's amazing, man. And talking about your backlog, I saw you were at 4,000. So you were celebrating 4,000 subscribers like 2 years ago, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. And when I hit 4,000, I was like, oh my God, 4,000 people. That's so crazy,
Yeah. And what was it like for you? I mean, you obviously have made a huge change when it comes to your production value. What's your background when it comes to film and video?
I have absolutely no background when it comes to film and video. The thing that I did the most, though, when I started getting into it, when I was like, oh, maybe I should get a better camera. I started looking at Peter McKinnon, Maddie, Chris Howe, all these big guys a lot, like watching their videos like 24/7. Yeah. And that's how I'm like, okay, like let me get better at this, better at that. And eventually I started getting better, at video and photo. But prior to that, all I knew was coding and computers and things like that. More of a geeky, like a nerd.
It's funny. I've heard a lot of parallels when it comes to coding as kind of solving a puzzle and editing as solving a puzzle. Do you kind of see a correlation between the two?
Absolutely. Every time I remember when when I used to code a lot more before, you're trying to solve, okay, how can I make this, for example, look red? I want this web page to look red. Well, it's the same thing in video editing, How can I make this like rotate or, different sound effects and things like that? It's the same. You apply sort of the same logic in your head.
I'm curious, what does a day in the life look like for you as a YouTube creator? I'm assuming you're full time now, right?
Yeah, I do. We do this full time. I guess a lot of people, which I understand, don't look at it as a full-time job or as something that it takes a lot of time, right? But it takes a lot of time. We work from Sunday to Monday. I work on Sundays. And for example, on Monday, I basically script, and I have my editor like learning stuff, how to color grade, and like it's his own time where he can just get better at certain things. And then on Tuesday we have our shoot days, for example, the whole day. I usually shoot from like 9 to 9, and then at 9 I do like voiceovers or the A-rolls. And then Wednesday, for example, we finish shooting what we didn't shoot on Tuesday. Then we have the cinematics on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, we do all the content for TikTok, Instagram, thumbnails, metadata, all that stuff. And then Friday, I sort of like breathe a bit and do some research on content creation and things like that. And then Sunday, I do the same thing, a bit of research here and there. It's
pretty much
crazy.
No breaks almost, huh?
No, I work all the time. I'm home like super late all the time, but we really like it. Like the studio here, it feels like home to us. Like we like being here.
And speaking of your creative process, I mean, how do you ideate your videos that you come up with? Because it seems like what you're doing right now, it just works, and your thumbnails are killer too. So walk me through your creative process.
For my creative process, I don't try to come up with things. It's more like I'm documenting my life as I use tech, for example, because I like using, for example, the MacBooks for coding sometimes on the side, or to maybe just keep up with all the work we have going on. And so for me, when I build a script, I just talk about a personal experience with the device itself. If it's a device that I recently got into the office like a week ago, then I talk more about first impressions. That's very easy for me because I just talk about experience. When it comes to the cinematics or the like little cool intros we have going on, that's when the creativity starts to kick in a bit more. And we just consume content a lot on YouTube and try to come up with ideas, people that do skits on within other niche and things like that. That's how we come up with we brainstorm ideas at night and whatnot.
Andres, talking about your workflow, I love the look of your studio. I'm honestly a little jealous. Can you tell me a little bit about your creative space and what you look for in a home studio?
So oh my god, this took a while to build. Like, it's still not even finished. It took like a year. But for us, the most important thing is to having a desk setup that's comfortable to you. You know, it doesn't mean that, like, my desk setup, for example, is not comfortable to everyone. Some people might find it too cluttered. I find it perfect. You know, it depends on the person. So desk setups, definitely the major thing. Then you can choose your monitors, like setup. How do you want to set up your monitors? I think that's like the second most important thing. And then a chair. You need a chair. So it's important, man. I used to have like these cheap chairs before, and my back sort of got like a bit messed up, and my lower back too. So now I have like a really good one from Herman Miller, and that's like, it's been
it's like
a
the
lot
Lambo
better.
chairs right there.
Yeah, pretty much. But honestly, like, I feel so much better. It is very expensive, but it's like a bed, right? So you got to invest in your where you're sleeping and when you're sitting.
And talking about, I mean, we love to talk gear. So what are you rocking with audio wise? What do you got lighting wise?
So on my setup, I've got some Hue lights, I believe, a bit everywhere. Recently, you guys sent the Amaran light strip, which is going to be installed sometime this weekend. And also, I've got an Amaran 200X living on top with a softbox, which is super nice. I get to control it and whatnot. So that's what we got going on right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we love that. 200X is one of my favorites, especially because you can go from tungsten all the way to daylight and even beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the color temperature control is crazy.
Yeah, and mostly on the app, which is pretty sick, which is what I like if I'm shooting like alone and whatnot, doing cinematics, lighting effects or whatnot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. And especially with Sidus Link making it so easy to shoot on your own, because you can just adjust your brightness of your light right in front of your monitor, so you don't have to keep on getting up and checking things, sitting back down. It's a whole process. So
yeah.
That's what I love about like the integration with Sidus Link that we have going on with the Amaran and Aputure products.
Yeah.
Talking about that strip light, let's break that thing out. What have you liked so far about the new SM5c?
So first of all, my biggest thing, like, it's the app. Like you already mentioned, that's like my favorite thing about the Aputure products when it comes to integration, because you can have them all within the app, and this too connects in the app, which is pretty cool. And you can, instead of using like the remote control, like let's say this, for example, for me is going under the desk right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, maybe not. Somewhere like right here it'll go. So I can just maybe like play with it, you know, have it on my disposition whenever I want. But with the app, what I like is that I'll get to control all the like hue and like all the different saturation modes, the effects and whatnot. So that's what I like about it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, talking about the effects too, there's some crazy pixel effects in there. And if you ever want to mess around and have some fun with some music, we have some music effects.
Yeah, I saw, because you guys have a little mic right here. So
yeah,
it picks up, which is pretty nice.
Speaking of the SM5Cs, we're giving away 2 right now. So all you got to do is hit the link down in the description and subscribe to Amaran Lighting on YouTube. We'll pick a lucky subscriber out from that list, and you could win some free gear. Talking about your lighting and your studio, I know you got a lot of accent lighting going on. You got that really cool tungsten look. And how could the SM5c strip light fit into that for you?
So what I like doing, because I have a gray wall, which is pretty sick. It's really good for lighting. So what I like doing is having that orangey vibe, you know, and with this, because it has a nice like little softened touch to it on the LEDs, I can have it all around the desk and make it pop even more, you know. So now it's gonna look like the whole wall is sort of like alive, which is what I like. It really goes with the setup. And I like orange, you know. It's pretty nice.
That'd be a cool look. That'd be a cool look for sure. And it could integrate into your smart home that you have going on already. So
exactly,
I think that'd be an amazing look.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it's gonna look.
We were talking about Sidus Link in your setup. How does that integrate into your workflow from week to week?
So Sidus Link from week to week for us, we actually use it quite often. You guys can't probably see that, but I have an iPod on my Husky thing with some of our automation apps, and Sidus Link lives in one of those. And when we shoot cinematics, for example, because I have all the Amaran 200Xs on top, I have like 3 of them in the office. It's really nice because I get to control sort of the the luminosity, the intensity of the lights, right? The color temperature for the mood of certain cinematics. So we use it quite often within our shoots. So it's pretty
that's
nice.
awesome, man. Especially like with it being on your smartphone or an iPad, it's super convenient.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't really use the hardware, like, you know, physically in the back of the light, you can tweak it and whatnot. Because they sit so high, you know, I'm not gonna go in there and change things all the time. So it's super convenient to have just all the lights in one app.
Yeah, that's the other element. Once you set up your lights, you got your angle, you don't need to lower it so you can adjust all the settings. You just keep it up there and control it on your phone, which is super convenient.
Exactly. Just very nice.
Andres, I know you're super busy. You got a lot of videos coming up, but before you go, I gotta ask, if anyone out there is starting a YouTube channel, what 3 tips of advice would you have for them?
Oof, that's a good one. First advice I would give someone is study YouTube a bit. Like, study the market and see what you want to get into. For example, I like tech, I also like cars, and I like coding. So those are like 3 niches. And I would tell you to, you know, write down niches you like, study them, and get good at photography and making titles, and make sure that I don't know, the topics of the videos are trending in the current state, you know, within maybe like the month or the next 3 months, those topics are trending. I think that's how at first you start gaining somewhat of an audience, and then you can start working on retention, how to retain those people, how to make those people subscribe, maybe adding a bit of your spice into the videos, you know, what makes you different from other content creators and things like that. Those would be like, that'd be like the global tip, you know.
I know, that's like all encompassing because we're still trying to figure out retention to this day.
Yeah, retention is not easy, man.
Awesome, bro. All right, well, I appreciate the tips. I appreciate the time.
No
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your backstory and your setup. And my man, I'll see you soon. We'll talk a little bit more on Instagram.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Cool.